This is Mac OS Ken.
Good news from the supply chain. Ming-Chi Kuo plays down AR expectations for next week, and Dinosaurs score big for Apple TV+. It is Wednesday, the 1st of June, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Trade Coffee. Get $30 off your first order plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/MacOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Upstart, fair and fast personal loans. If you don't have high-interest credit card debt or other high-interest debt hanging over your head, neat. If you do, Upstart might help ease some of that burden. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, Upstart can help you get one fixed monthly payment with a clear payoff date. You're more than just your credit score. Upstart knows that. Instead of just your credit score, Upstart's model considers additional factors like your income, employment, and other information provided in your loan application to find you a smarter rate for your loan. You can check your rate in minutes for loans between $1,000 to $50,000 without impacting your credit score, and you can receive funds as fast as one business day after accepting your loan. Don't wait and check your rate today at upstart.com/MacOSKen. UPSTART, that's upstart.com/MacOSKen to check your rate today. Don't forget to use my URL to let them know I sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/MacOSKen. Another positive sign from the supply chain. A piece from the Japanese business publication Nikkei has Apple manufacturing partner Foxconn hinting at a better year than previously expected. Speaking with shareholders on Tuesday, Foxconn chairman Young Liu said, "We previously forecast this year we would maintain a similar level from last year after factoring in inflation, war in Ukraine, and other uncertainties, but now we think the full year will be better than our estimate." The chairman was also quoted saying the overall lockdown impact on Foxconn is rather limited. You can tell from our revenue in April, and May's performance is also better than we estimated. Rather limited is an interesting term. Nikkei had Foxconn recording revenue in April of $16.76 billion US. That was down just over 4% from March. Not great until you hear that other iPhone maker Pegatron saw its revenue drop 35%, while MacBook maker Quanta saw revenue drop 40%. That does make Foxconn's 4% hit seem rather limited. As for how they did it by employing a closed-loop system that has workers going from work to dorms owned by work to dorms owned by work, and nowhere else. The piece has Liu indicating that that's kept Foxconn's important manufacturing facilities operating at normal levels. Meanwhile, the piece says product development, known as new product introduction in the industry, is proceeding as normal. According to Nikkei, Foxconn will continue to closely monitor the COVID situation in China and enhance its closed-loop management to lower risks of any possible supply chain disruptions, the chairman said. "We think such COVID controls will continue to happen, and it is our operational focus to make sure the facilities can keep operating." Here is something that sounds insane. The game analytics group NewZoo says Apple was third in terms of gaming revenue in 2021. Behind Nintendo and Microsoft, you ask? No, they were ahead of those two. Highlighting the NewZoo numbers, a piece from Apple Insider says League of Legends and PUBG publisher Tencent was tops. The Chinese firm took in $32.2 billion in games revenue. Sony was second, taking in $18.2 billion in games-related revenue. Apple was third, taking in an estimated $15.3 billion in total games revenue throughout 2021, according to the report. Can Apple Arcade really be that big? It seems unlikely. Apple Insider figures most of Apple's gaming money came from commissions on App Store sales. As for what happened to Mario and Mr. Softy, the report notes that hardware-centric providers like Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo did not grow as much as expected. Pressures on the supply chain hampered all three. An expectation from TF International analyst Ming Chi Kuo to set our thoughts a-whirring. The analyst hit Twitter with a couple of messages on Tuesday saying he does not expect to see an AR/VR headset from Apple during next week's WWDC Keynote. In the first tweet, the analyst said it still takes some time before Apple AR/MR headset enters mass production, so I don't think Apple will release AR/MR headset and rumored Reality OS at WWDC this year. Apple's competitors worldwide can't wait to see the hardware spec and OS design for Apple's AR/MR headset. MR in that tweet means mixed reality, by the way. In his second Twitter post, Young MC said, "I'm sure that if Apple announces AR/MR headset and its OS at WWDC, competitors will immediately kick off copycat projects and happily copy Apple's excellent ideas and hit the store shelves before Apple launches in 2023. I know I said earlier this week that I want to believe, and I do. Trying to figure out when the whole thing will happen is tricky, though. Apple will want to give developers time to develop for the headset, so you gotta figure they will show off the hardware and operating system months ahead of availability. They did that with Apple Watch, announcing the device in September of 2014 ahead of an April 2015 release. They did something similar with iPad, announcing the first one in January of 2010 ahead of an April 2010 release. Even iPhone got a January 2007 announcement ahead of a late June 2007 release, though that had nothing to do with developers. Of those three, Apple Watch, iPad, and iPhone, the Watch may give us the best guide. Like the iPad release, the Watch release took third-party developers into account. Additionally, like the headset will be, the Watch release represented a whole new product category for Apple. Quo's not the only one tapping the brakes on headset expectations. Mac Rumors points to part of Mark Gurman's most recent Power On newsletter. In that, Gurman said, in terms of new hardware, though Apple's upcoming mixed reality headset is full steam ahead, underscored by the recent demonstration of the device to the company's board, I'd be wary of expecting a full-blown presentation for developers and consumers next week. While Gurman and Kuo and Common Sense may be waving people off an AR/VR headset demo next week, Apple is playing games with our brains. For quite a while now, Apple has slipped an augmented reality element into upcoming product events, and it has done it again. Highlighted by a piece from Mac Rumors, if you go to Apple's events page at apple.com/events on your iPhone, then tap the art on that page, that launches a pack of AR trading cards. You open the pack and sort through them by tapping the pack, then tapping the cards. There are only 3 presented per deck, though it's not the same 3 every time. Does this mean Apple will show off Reality OS in some sort of headset at WWDC 2022? Well, it hasn't meant that for the last several events for which Apple has offered an AR element, so my head says no, but my heart wants what it wants. In case you've forgotten, and if you're here, it's hard to imagine how you could, WWDC 22 starts next Monday, the 6th of June. That kicks off with the Keynote presentation. Somebody in Cupertino will push play on that at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, other times, other places. You can watch that through Apple's events page, though that has been buggy for me in years past. I've had more luck with YouTube, where Apple is simulcasting again. A piece from Mac Rumors says the Cupertino company has set a placeholder on YouTube for the event. You can also set an alert there in case you live more on the streaming video service than in the Apple ecosystem. More news in a moment, but first a word from Trade Coffee. You know I take my coffee seriously, but Trade Coffee is next level. Their real coffee experts personally taste test over 450 roasts, so they know exactly what to recommend for you. Just answer a couple of questions and you will get your own personalized variety of coffees delivered fresh to you as often as you like. I've been enjoying Bom Senso from Huckleberry Roasters out of Denver, Colorado. They say the big, chocolatey body, cozy roasted almond nuttiness, and tons of balanced caramel sweetness make this cup of coffee just about as comforting as you can get. I will say, it is great. And it is a Trade exclusive. Not only might you not stumble across Huck on your own, you would never find this cup unless you tried it through Trade. See what Trade can find for you. Right now, Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/macOSKen. That is more than 40 cups of coffee for free. Get started by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/macOSKen and let Trade find you a coffee you'll love. That's drinktrade.com/macOSKen for $30 off. And don't forget about Father's Day coming up. A Trade subscription is the perfect gift for the coffee lovers in your life. Get started today at drinktrade.com/macOSKen. The Big Bam beta roll continues. Apple Insider ran a piece Tuesday saying that the second betas for iOS and iPadOS 15.6, watchOS 8.7, and tvOS 15.6 were out to developers. Meanwhile, a piece from Mac Rumors said developers had also gained access to the second beta of macOS Monterey 12.5. Release today to Apple's public beta program seems likely, if not 100% certain. The viewing public seems to have been down for Apple's Dinosaur Week. A piece from Cult of Mac says Apple's 5-episode dinosaur documentary Prehistoric Planet was number 5 out of 10, according to the streaming trackers at JustWatch. In case you haven't heard, Apple says Prehistoric Planet combines award-winning wildlife filmmaking, the latest paleontology learnings, and state-of-the-art technology to unveil the spectacular habitats and inhabitants of ancient Earth for a one-of-a-kind immersive experience. It's also got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, so not too shabby. While no streaming service divulges actual numbers, Cult of Mac says JustWatch runs a video recommendation service, so they know what people are looking for. That lets them estimate the popularity of films and series. Now, as informative as the Dino news is, the most interesting item on last week's JustWatch Top 10 may have to do with Severance. That show ended its first season run nearly 2 months ago. It showed up on the JustWatch Top 10 at number 10 last week. Cult of Mac says the show has stayed on the viewership charts for months, even long after its season finale. And finally today, score a victory for the BTS Army, as fans of the band are called. Over the weekend, the first episode of the 3-part radio show, BTS, Past and Present, hit Apple Music 1. Now a piece from Apple Insider says that episode has broken a record. And it's not even a record. BTS Army, you did it, said a Twitter post from the Apple Music account. That was followed by news that the band broke the record for biggest show of the year with their debut episode of BTS Radio on Apple Music 1. As for what showed the BTS cast unseated, Apple did not say. nor do I remember ever hearing Apple Music brag about any radio show's performance. Smells like PR, which is, well, it is what it is. The first episode of BTS, past and present, is available on demand now, and man, did I mess up when the rest of those are going to be on. Turns out the times I had told you Tuesday were all for the first episode of the 3-episode series. Episodes are airing weekly up to the 10th of June debut of the BTS album Proof, which makes a lot more sense. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Upstart, fair and fast personal loans. Learn more and check your rate at upstart.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Trade Coffee. Get $30 off your first order plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.